Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Hardworking Mom. We're going to be doing another Dollar Tree wreath today, and it is almost the 4th of July. So we're actually going to do a flip-flop wreath with some of the Dollar Tree flip-flops. So I will get panned down and we'll get started. So I have quite a few things here. I have a lot of flip-flops from the Dollar Tree. And what I did is I got red, white, and blue, and they had some really cute ones with some patriotic theme. Okay, and some of these are pretty large, and that's okay. It doesn't all have to be small. Sometimes it can be hard to find the smaller sizes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the larger sizes and I'm going to put them on the bottom. So okay, so I have the larger ones here. I already took it off the little pieces. I won't need these. Okay, and I have a lot of things. I have more flip-flops over here. I have some ribbon. I have flowers, signs. I have a couple signs. And I also have some pre-made ribbons. So it's fine to use these if you're not good with, and I said ribbon, I mean bow. If you have difficulty making bows, you can just use these little pre-done ones. And I have a glue gun that is not very high temperature. So I don't use my main glue gun when I'm doing something like this, because what you don't want is to melt what you're working on. So I will get that started. Okay. All right. So there's several ways that you can do this. I'll move this so I can show you. So if your Dollar Tree has these frames, this is a great thing to use. This is what we're going to be using, but I did want to give you some other options if you have difficulty finding these. You can use the placemats. Now, if you use a placemat, you do want to get some cardboard. So you can get these cardboard 2 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And you can just put it on top of here, cut it out, and then just glue this on. You can even do 2 of them. It's not exactly 2, but it would help to just support it a little bit. You can also use these rings, these little styrofoam rings. And you can also use the boxes. So you can cut the boxes up into circles and glue them together and use that as well. So that gives you kind of a couple of options of what you could do. So let's take, for example, if you did this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them on like this. And so you would just glue them on right here. And you know, it's really great to alternate them. Just makes it a little bit more fun. So that's what you would do. You would just glue it all the way around, like that. Okay, and then you're going to put a second one right on the top. So what that does is it covers what's down there, and it fills in the spaces that are made because, of course, these are not round. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the wire frame. Okay. And if you use the wire frame, what I like to do is I like to just get some pipe cleaners from the Dollar Tree and just take them. And you can, on the back of these, you can push, kind of fold these over and get to these little pieces that hold in the straps. And then what I do is I take my pipe cleaner and I pull it out so I can get a good amount under there, and then I twist my pipe cleaner. Hello. Okay, so what I do is I just put it under there, and then I do about an inch, and I do a little circle around and then just twist it on. So I'll show you again. I don't really care what color I'm using because you're not going to see this. So we did a red, let's do a white. You know, this is something that you can do just kind of sitting there watching TV. Alright, so we take about an inch or two, we go around. So push it up, go around. So you want to get underneath that and then just twist it on nice and tight. So I just twist these two together, just like that. Okay, and then I pull it back down because I don't want this to come off. Okay, so I am going to go and do quite a few of these, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to put them on. Okay, so I have all these done, and I am ready to start. And the first thing I like to do is look and see about where I want my flip-flops to fall, because you want to be careful you don't pull them back too much like this, because if you do, you're going to have difficulty going around. So I just kind of want it to be around the edge right here. So what I'm going to do is flip it over and kind of work from the back. I'm going to thread my pipe cleaner in between these rows like this, and I'm just going to keep going back and forth until I have it pretty on there pretty well. There we go. Now if you have smaller ones, if you have smaller flip-flops, you can actually pull it back up and tie under here. But since mine had the larger ones, I'm just going to thread it on itself. So all I'm really trying to do is get it so that it's on there pretty nicely and it's not going to come off. And I want to keep them pretty much about the same. Okay. Just play with it a little bit until you get them about where you want them. There we go. Don't worry if it's a little bit loose, because it's going to get better as you're going around. Okay. So I like to put them like they would be on your feet. So these two together. Now remember, you're going to be putting another one on top of this, so do not worry. Alright, so then I want to go in this direction. Okay. So all I'm really trying to accomplish is to make sure that my pieces are not, so one is not too much farther back than another one. It just helps as you're getting around to not have that, because it just makes it more difficult to load them on as you get around if they're too tight on there. Okay. There we go. So let's grab another color. Just thread it through. we go. You do want to have a pretty decent size space to work on. Now this is going to be large because I had to use the larger flip-flops. So when you use the smaller flip-flops, it's not quite as large. So you just kind of maneuver like that. There, that's a little better. Okay, so I'm just threading it through like this. Try to keep these pretty even. And then just twisting around again. I just don't want it to come loose. Okay. Alright, so we will load another one on. Move some of these. Okay. This is really not very difficult. You just kind of have to keep maneuvering them around. And don't worry about the spaces. Remember, we're going to be putting another row on. So you should expect that you're going to have some spaces. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, if you're using something else besides one of these wreath forms, then what you would do is you would actually glue it on. But when you're using the wreath form, you do want to, it is a little bit easier to use the pipe cleaners. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, so once you get them kind of laid out in a pattern, what you can do then, and you have them on here, is you kind of want to make sure they're spaced pretty evenly apart. Then take your glue gun and start to just kind of put a little dab of glue in between them to keep them together. You only want to do this at the bottom. Okay. This just kind of helps keep them in place. And just remember, this is just your base. This is just the base. So if it doesn't look perfect, don't worry about it because we're going to be putting a whole nother layer on. Okay. So now I will give this a minute to set up, and then we'll flip this over. You can take this time to make sure all of these are tight. So if you see one that's not very tight, you could just tighten it up. So the ones that you first started out with might be a little bit looser than the ones that you're finishing up with. That's normal. Just because you're moving them around as you're putting them on. All right. And what you're going to do, see, and I don't need this now. Okay, so we used, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets on the bottom. So now on the top, what I'll do is I will start filling in where we have big gaps. And you want to do the same thing. You want to alternate colors. You're still going to be able to see what's underneath it. Okay. These are so cute. So this is what you're just doing. You're just going around and covering up the spaces. So we have one left right here. Okay. So once you get those placed, what you're going to do is you're going to come back with your hot glue, and you want to figure out where you're going to glue it, and then put a pretty good amount of glue on here and glue it down. Okay. And you want to make sure that it sticks. So you can come back and check them as you give it a minute to adhere. There we go. Okay. So you want to check them after you give them a few minutes. Okay. So as you can see, I have several different sizes on here and it still works just fine. So just keep that in mind if you get out there and you cannot find small ones or you have trouble finding large ones. Just remember that you can still do this even if the sizes are different. Okay. So we're almost done with this part. Okay. Alright, so we've gotten the basic part done. You can take one of your pipe cleaners and you can use it to make a hanger for the back. And the great thing is that these are pretty long, so it's pretty easy to hide that. Now what you can do is you can decorate it. So they have these cute little pinwheels. You can put pinwheels on it. And the thing I like about using things like this, now you wouldn't think to use this, but when it's on your door, what's going to happen is it's going to catch the wind. And anytime you can give a wreath a little bit of movement, it's just fun. You can take it and you can hide it kind of under the shoes and just have it be kind of in the center. You can cut these pieces off. You don't need it to be that long. Okay? And then just hide it under the shoe and you can just glue it right in there. Okay? So you want to have enough so that it will actually catch the wind. You could also glue it under the little strap right there. These are fun, so I got some flowers in red, white, and blue. And you can take those. I usually like to keep the little leaves with it. And then I cut off a little piece and then just kind of bend it. And what that does is that keeps that leaf on. And then you can take this and you can glue these on. These are so adorable. Okay. And you can just kind of glue them in between just to give it a little bit more fun. These also came from the Dollar Tree. And of course, you don't have to do the 4th of July. You could do this for anything. You could do it for just summer. You can find a really cute little sign. I'm going to show you that. But this is such a simple and fun wreath to do. I really like to do these because they're really easy to do, and who doesn't like flip-flops in the summer? You can also find these supplies at Walmart. So if you have trouble getting things from the Dollar Tree, you can also get them at Walmart. Let's put the white one here. Okay. So you can put a flower all the way around. So I think that's fun. So we'll cut a few off. And save your stems because we're going to have another project we're going to do using these stems. Okay. So I'm just bending it over so the flower won't come off. Okay. do some white and some red. So I always push those little leaves up right underneath my flower. Okay. Here we go. Alright. And we'll bend these over so that little leaf won't come out. I just like to use the leaves. I think it kind of breaks up the flower a little bit and it makes it look a little bit more natural. So, alright, let's do a few reds. Now, of course, you could use anything that you find in the Dollar Tree to add a little bit of embellishments. They have cute little stickers and all kinds of fun little things that you can get. Butterflies, you can add butterflies on. Just gives it a little bit more. Okay. So, just put a little glue on it. And one great thing about doing this is if your flip-flops are a little bit different in size, this kind of helps hide that. So you're not really going to notice it as much because that flower is going to really hide the fact that your shoes are very different sizes. So that's one of the reasons I like to do this. Because it can be very hard to get the same size for all of them. Okay. If you end up with a lot of glue sticks, since I am using some inexpensive glue sticks, just run your hair dryer across it lightly, not real heavy, not real hot, but kind of a medium setting, and it will make all of those disappear right into, and that's just a really great little thing to do. Okay, so you see how cute that is? Oh, that's so adorable. Okay, so some of the other things that okay, so you have all your flowers here. You can take your flowers and you could put it right down here. This is really adorable to do, so you just glue it right inside there. See, isn't that cute? And we're going to do a few of those. We're not going to do them all. You just put glue on it. And just find some places that you'd like to put it. There we go. So you might as well use up the flowers. Okay. So we'll do every few maybe. There we go. And this is the part where you can just have fun and be creative. Just remember, if you have problems with the glue, you just want to run your hair dryer over it lightly. Okay. Oops, looks like we're missing a petal here. That happens. bend them over, make sure that leaf isn't going to come out. There we go. All right, let's see. How many do we have? We have 2, 4, 5. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's skip a couple. So we'll do here. Since we are missing one, we'll just skip a few. There we go. Okay. Skip now. Okay, then we'll put one here. One there. There we go. And we have one left. And I think we'll just leave it that way, since we don't really have another one. Alright, and you could take your bows. You could even add the bows on the ones that you didn't have flowers for. That would be cute. Like that. You could also make your own bows, so they do have ribbon. You can make your own bows. You could use these. On a couple. Okay. So remember, these are fun because they have movement. So you could glue them in just like that. You'd want to make sure that they were standing up like this so that they could move around a little bit. Now what do I do with my, here we go. Okay. Oh, that's so cute. All right. That's it. Let me pull up the camera here. Oh, I did want to show you one more thing. So you can also get signs. And, you know, if you picked a sign that didn't have, like, 4th of July on it, you could just keep bringing it out again and again and again, because there are several holidays that are patriotic themes. And, of course, if you're not in the U.S., you could do it with yours, but you can put signs in the center. So this is adorable. And you could just kind of glue it right in there. You could do a red one. You could even keep these and kind of change them out. Like that. They have larger signs, and you could put that in the center instead of doing your flowers. Which this would look really cute, because it would really cover a lot of what we did to cover with the flowers. Okay, so let's pull this up so that you can see a little better. All right. And that is our Dollar Tree flip-flop wreath. See, and then when you set it on the door, it just looks adorable. Let me show you with the sign. See, there it is. So cute. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. I have several more planned. I think they're going to be fun, easy, fun projects to do with Dollar Tree items. So if you have something you would like me to do with Dollar Tree items, just let me know. All right, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.